Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday. The S&P 500 was down just about 0.75% today. All of the indexes were down today. The big story of the day really is these lockdowns that are happening in Europe right now, in France and Germany and Italy and Poland and what have you. They're starting to add lockdowns or continue or what have you. And what's going on there is that they're getting a spike in the virus. Specifically, seems to be the variant that came that they call the UK variant, which is quite contagious. And one of the problems for Europe, unfortunately, is that they're pretty far behind, especially behind Britain and behind us, in terms of rolling out their vaccine. And so one of the ways that they're kind of dealing with that is to get people to try to lock down while they get that rolled back up and get it going out there. So unfortunately, that's affecting the stock market, who's looking at this and saying, okay, maybe the recovery isn't going to happen as quickly. I actually think the stock market as a whole is wrong, especially here in this country. Right now, gasoline sales are only about 1% less than they were at their peak prior to the pandemic last year. People are out and about and moving and going, and so I really think, here in the US, especially, the vaccine is rolling out. I think it's going to roll out even faster. Multiple states are starting to announce that all adults are eligible to get the vaccine. And, it's just a matter of time before we really see some of that happen. Now, the virus is not just a US thing. And so it is important as far as that goes. But I do believe that the market is overreacting here to what's happening. So one of the things I talked about, last year, sort of as a New Year's resolution, was making sure that, I had more courage as an investor. Well, a big part of courage for me comes from knowledge. And so the basics behind what I try to do is to define a theme and really, see if that theme makes any sense. So to me, a very obvious theme is that the recovery is going to happen here at some point in time as the vaccine rolls out. There's always some caveats to that, but that seems very strong. As that happens, we're going to see value stocks do well. We're going to see bonds do poorly. And so we've kind of built the portfolio around that theme. But you can't just have a theme. You also have to have the trend. So you can have all kinds of things that you think might happen, but they're just not happening yet. But so we want to look at trend. So let me show you the trend of these particular pieces that we have here. And I'm hoping that this gets you to understand, kind of what we're going through. So this is a chart here for 9 months. Each one of these bars is a week. I like looking at weekly data. This is RPV, which is the Invesco S&P Pure Value Index. So this takes the S&P 500 index and takes just the pure value stocks from that index. So you'll notice in almost all of these cases, they all jumped on the 9th of November. This is when Moderna announced the results from their very positive results from their phase 3 trial. And that meant things could possibly reopen, and you'll see that it starts to move. This 50-day moving average is one of the things I look at. Two things I want to see. Is it going up? Yes. Is the price above that? Yes. Those are both good trend indicators. And then here's the 200-day moving average. Is it going up? Yes. Is the 50-day higher? Yes. Okay, those are all important. One of the other things I do look at is when things come down, what happens to the volume? So this is a volume. Now, this is only for 2 days so far, but the volume seems to be lower so far on a day-by-day basis for on the sell side, which is good. I also look at relative strength. So this blue line shows the strength of this investment versus the S&P 500, which is essentially represented by this red line. And so if the blue line's above the red line, it's outperformed the S&P 500, and you can even see the pattern. So it hasn't outperformed, in the last week or two, but it's definitely up. All right. So here's the next one is just, the same thing, but this is the S&P mid cap 400. Everything the same. Jump on the 9th, up, down here, as relative strength up. Really, really powerful, super strong trend. Even though it's come down in 2 weeks here, still really, really powerful trend. And here's the small cap, the S&P 600 small cap pure value index. Again, jump above the 50, still comes down a couple weeks, yes, but everything else is up. This is obviously down, but still way up above the S&P 500. Here is leisure and entertainment. So again, jump, low volume, above, yes, for the 50, yes, for the 200, well above, right? Here's regional banking, which should do really well. Again, big jump on the 9th, above the 50. Yes, it came down a couple of weeks. Low volume so far this week. The S&P 500 relative strength looks great. Okay, so That gives me confidence. I hope it gives you confidence too. Matter of fact, it tells me you should buy more if you can. And so one of the things we are going to do is do a rebalance here. So I'm going to try to just watch when I see some bottoming happening, and I'll do a rebalance on the portfolios, specifically the IRAs, so we don't have to worry about the, the taxes as far as that goes. Uh, but I think the theme is super strong. There's another key piece of this theme. The one interesting thing about value is that there are less value shares available to purchase than there are growth shares. And there are way less new shares coming on the market for value. I mean, basically none. Matter of fact, they're shrinking. They're buying back their stock. They're merging together. Whereas on the growth side, there's constantly new IPOs coming out and these new things called SPACs, which is another way to go IPO. All of those are more shares coming out on that side and no new shares over here. So there's no new supply coming in of any substance. And when that market switches back around and we get past this concept of this variant scaring everybody, which I think will happen here, in a short period of time, we should see some really strong, money come into these recovery plays. So anyway, that's what I see. Theme, very important, very strong. Trend also has to go together with the theme, has to be strong. If the trend breaks down, we're out of there. That's what happened with clean energy. Trend broke down. A lot of the clean energy stuff was down huge today. And so really, we've got both going our direction. I know it doesn't seem like it. It seems painful to watch what's happening here day by day in the last couple of weeks, but hang in there. This is going to be a period of time where we can actually take advantage of this. So look forward to seeing what's going to happen tomorrow. Thank you very much.